Hey dolls, it's Jaleebby, and today I'm doing something I've been really excited to do, which is my best friend's makeup. That's my best friend Lexi, and if you want to see how we got this look, just keep on watching. So there we are. This is my best friend Lexi. She's the sweetest person ever. I love her so much. I've always wanted to do her makeup, and she never really does full face like I do. So today was a really fun experience to get to do that and play and just really get to make up her face. So here I'm moisturizing because she has dry skin just like me, and I'm using my First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Intense Hydration Cream. I love it. It's so great and hydrating, and so I'm using it on my best friend. So when I did her makeup, I decided that I wanted to use a foundation brush to just put the primers and the moisturizer on. Just because this particular day I didn't really feel like kind of touching her face. A lot of people don't really like that. And so I specifically just wanted to use a brush and be professional. Like usually if you do makeup on other people, you don't really want to touch their face with your hands a lot, with your fingers. So I chose to go with the brush. But she doesn't really care because she my sister from another mister. But here I am just kind of smoothing in some of the parts that I couldn't really get with the brush, and we're just gonna have a really good time in this tutorial because that's what we do every single time we're together. So now I'm going to go in with that MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus and just kind of, hydrate her face even further. And then I'm going to go in with my NYX eyeshadow primer in Skin Tone with my favorite brush to use it on, which is a Earth Therapeutics brush, and I kind of just put a thin layer. I usually do the same thing with the eyes every time I prime it. I just use my NYX paint pot basically and just put it on there, and with the beauty blender kind of just spread it out. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. And I take my beauty blender and I will always set it or spray it with my Maybelline New York Master Wear Boosting Setting Spray, just because I love doing that. It just works better for me, so I'm not going to say it every time I spray it. But then I like to go in with the e.l.f. concealer brush and powder it down with my Coty Airspun loose face powder, just to set it right away so it doesn't crease and has a good canvas so I can start the eyeshadow. Quick story about Lexi and I. We met in high school our freshman year. We went to a trade school, and we ended up picking the same trade to study for the next 4 years of our lives. And we had classes together and met there. And basically she got me into makeup the end of my junior year, which I am so eternally grateful to her for. So doing this on her, like doing her makeup, means so much to me. So now I'm going to go in with the Jeffree Star Androgyny palette, one of my favorite palettes that I will be using a lot on this channel. And dipping into the color Androgyny, I am going to go into her crease with a crease brush and just outline it. And yeah, so she basically introduced me to makeup, and we laugh a lot. We're just those kind of friends that are always together when we're together. It's just a really good time. Even now out of high school, I find that she is one of the only people, or one of the very few people, that can make me laugh after like a really rough day or long day. And I think those are the really genuine friends that you don't always find after high school. So just keep that in mind. Quick tip to just, keep those that brighten your day up closer to you, because that's what Lexi is to me. So now I'm going to go with the other eye and do the exact same thing and blend. I'm just going to show you the brushes, but these are some of the same brushes I used for my first video. And if you haven't seen my first video, the link will be in the description box below, so go click on that, or just click on my name right under here and go to my channel, check it out. So with this look, I was kind of trying to do somewhat of a halo eye, but not really a halo eye. I kind of bring the outer corner and inner corner a little bit inwards towards the lid, the center of the lid, but not completely covering the center of the lid because I'm going to put a color there for later. But that's what I was kind of going for here. So I keep blending the outer corner and inner corner near the center of the lid, but not really closing that gap completely. So this is what we have so far, just kind of somewhat of a halo eye, but not really. And then I'm going to go in with Safe Word and kind of just blend everything out, smooth out those edges in the crease, and kind of soften up the color a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with that nice red Fetish and put that in the center of the lid. And that is kind of going to have a really nice transition, and that's what I liked about putting this color there. So you take the smokiness of the color Fetish and it blends up with androgyny, and it's what I really like about this look. So now I'm doing her eyeliner using my Tarteist clay liner, and it's in black. And basically I just kind of work my way from the outside in. That's how I do my own liner. That's how I do her liner, other people's liner. So I kind of go from the outer corner up towards the end of the brow, but not touching the end of the brow, but towards the end of the brow. And then I kind of move my way inwards and thicken it as I go. So that's kind of how I do my liner tip. And if you want to see a video on how I do my liner, just like this up or comment down below that you would like to see a video on that, because that would really help. So right above her eyeliner, I just kind of blended in the color Deja Vu, which I really like. It's a combination of Deja Vu and Fetish, but I only show Deja Vu, and that kind of adds a little bit more shimmer to the top of her lid. And that little bit of shimmer kind of is what makes it look more like a halo eye. So now we're going to move on to the rest of her face. I like to prime, you guys know this, hydrate, and I'm using my Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer, and just using that brush again, that foundation brush, to just spread it out. And this is a really good primer because if you have dry skin, it's awesome, and we both have dry skin. And then I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. She specifically requested this mascara, and she and I talked about how we don't really need falsies for this with this mascara, so I didn't do falsies. Then I went on to using the Palladio Liquid Concealer Color Corrector in like a really light minty green, and then I used another foundation brush to spread that out and kind of smooth it and blur it out before I put the foundation on. And she wanted to try the same foundation that I used in my first video, which was the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation, and she's in Ivory, I believe. I don't remember, don't quote me on it, but she's a few shades lighter than I am, and I kind of just wanted with this look to layer it up. I talked to her about doing full coverage just because she's never done full coverage, so that's what we do. We kind of layer up the foundation a couple times just to make it really full coverage. And that's what's really good about this foundation as well, is that it's very buildable, it's very full coverage if you want to, it's medium to full coverage. So if you build it up a couple times, or 1 to 2 times, which is a couple times, then you will have full coverage. And that's what I really love about it, and how easy it goes on and how smooth it looks. It doesn't look cakey or dry or anything like that. So that's what I like about this foundation. That's why we decided to do full coverage. Also with foundation, I don't really like to focus that much under the under eyes, just because I'm going to go in with concealer later and just clean that up, so it's not that big of a deal. So this is what I meant. Here I am going in with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in my color, which is light medium honey, which I didn't know if it was going to like be too dark for her, but at the end of the day, it actually really worked out, and I'm satisfied with the finish. But I love this concealer, as you may or may not know, and in future videos I probably won't even mention this and some of the other products I use, just because I will use it in every single video, and you should assume that that's what's under my eyes and highlighting this face, or concealing this face. So then I'm gonna set her under eyes with my Coty Airspun powder. There it was, and she said that this smells really good. Everybody that I use this on or bring it around say that it smells super good, and it does. That's what's amazing about it. So I'm setting the rest of her face with that same Coty Airspun powder and my icing powder brush, and this just kind of just sets everything together so nothing's moving. And then I'm going to go in with my Hoola by Benefit contour powder, which I really enjoy as well. It's really good. And I used the brush that came with it, which is like a sometimes thing that I do, just because I do enjoy it with like certain occasion. And so in this case, I contoured her cheeks, and I went from the top of her ear here down midway towards the outer corner of her eye, or not towards the outer corner, but you know what I mean, like where it ends, I lined it up. And then I do the perimeter of her face, her jawline, her chin, and then I kind of blended upwards. And then I like to go under the contour to clean it up a bit with my Coty Airspun powder on a beauty blender. And then I like to brush away the under eye bake that I had previously put on. So the blush that I used was from Model Company, and it was in the shade Peach Bellini, which is really pretty. And I put it on a e.l.f. blush brush, and that is such a pigmented color, but it works so well, and I love it so much, and it looks really good on her. I love this color on her personally. And then I went in, you know, I had to bring in that MAC Oh Darling that I used in my first video that I really was shocked by. I needed to put it on her just because I love it so much, and it looks so good on her. So I used my MAC Oh Darling highlighter on her, which looks so stunning. And then I went in with that Hoola contour powder again, and I just went in on her nose a little bit. You can only see one side of it from this angle, but I basically go back and forth, whatever, until it's faded out. And then I like to take my Coty Airspun powder and lightly dust it off, and kind of, not dust it off, but blend it out a little bit. And then I like to highlight it afterwards just to give it that seamless blend. So then I highlighted her nose, I highlighted her cupid's bow, and then I wanted to go in under her eye and smoke it out even further. I think I went in with Dominatrix, but I'm not 100% sure. It's that like brownish color, and I just touched up her eyes one more time, and then I highlighted her inner corners and her brow bone using Oh Darling as well. All the face was done. I just decided to go in with Kate Cosmetics lip fondant. Don't remember the shade, but I'll put it in the description box below, and just outline her natural lips the best of my ability. And then I continued to clean it up with some concealer and a flat brush, and then blend it out with the beauty blender. And then I finished off the look with MAC's Prep and Prime Fix Plus, just to set everything together. And that's basically the finished look. We always have a good time together, and this was just the same. We had such a blast filming it. So thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, dolls!